We had the best time doing the initial breakdown of the body language and behavior in this video, and we decided we'd revisit some of our favorite moments from it.
What is it like to, I'm assuming that you trusted this person. How has this trust been broken? What's been going on with that?
It has definitely been broken after this.
Have you spoken to her father at all during this process? Are you having any support from
No.
him or from your family?
Yeah, my grandma's very supportive. She always is.
That's good. But you haven't spoken to him at all?
Mm-mm.
When was the last time you saw her?
In December.
In December? Okay. And what was that last day like? Was it a good day? I think it was about around Christmas, right? Can you tell me about that?
It was a good day. She had a little pink bow in her hair and a little Puma tracksuit on. It was hot pink.
And what, like, I know that you're hoping that she'll be returned shortly. Is there anything that you'd like to say to the person or people that have her that you think they should hear from you?
They should just bring her back. They obviously know, like, what's going on and, like, you know, they need to bring her back home.
Mm-hmm. And you said that you trusted this person. So when did you realize that trust might have been broken?
Well, when they just kind of took off and wouldn't answer anybody.
Around when was that?
Whenever this whole thing started.
Okay, all right. And can you tell me a little bit more about, like, how you're feeling? I know all of this is scary and everything.
It is. I just want her back.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can think about. Is just getting her back.
Is there anything the community can do to help you?
No. Other than look for her. I know they released the car information and the tag number and stuff like that. Just any leads at all, they need to, like, call so we can go check them out. Try to find her.
Has anyone, like, have you gotten any information from the community that's been helpful, or you've just kind of been this?
I don't really know. They've all been looking at leads and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are working their butts off.
Okay, Mark, what do you got?
Yeah, so now I am obsessed with this cough laugh thing. So I got no notes on anything else other than where she does that. Here's where she does this cough laugh. Talking about the grandmother.
Yeah, my grandma's very supportive. She always is.
There's that cough laugh. Tracksuit, hot pink.
It was a good day. She had a little pink bow in her hair and a little Puma tracksuit on. It was hot pink.
Cough laugh. Took off and wouldn't answer anybody.
They just kind of took off and wouldn't answer anybody.
Look for her.
Is there anything the community can do to help you?
No. Other than look for her.
And leads.
I don't really know. They've all been looking at leads and stuff like that.
So, okay, I get the supportive she always is. That fits with the original positive connections. Kisses, puppets, baths.
She loves to give people kisses. She has a little baby shark puppet. Well, she loves to take baths.
Hardly ever cries, talkative.
She hardly ever cries.
Is she talkative?
She is.
Doesn't fit with vanished.
As soon as they thought anything was going on, they just kind of vanished.
Okay, so what if I just get rid of my initial idea that she coughs and laughs on stuff which is positive or negative and just go, she coughs and laughs on stuff that just isn't true. It just isn't the case. So what if we now go, the kisses isn't positive, the puppet isn't positive, the baths isn't positive, she doesn't hardly ever cry, she cries maybe a lot, she's talkative and that's not a positive thing. Yeah, she's vanished. No, she hasn't vanished. You've killed her. The grandmother's supportive. No, she isn't supportive.
Allegedly.
Yeah. The tracksuit wasn't a hot pink tracksuit. Not what she's wearing. Nobody took off and won't answer. Don't look for her, and you won't find any leads. What if we now go? Those could be our tells of deception. Look, all of this, as my right honourable friends have been nudging me, is all alleged. This is all me just going, hang on, how can we judge other people's behaviour when we know so little? We know so little. I've got just these videos to look at, okay? And I don't know anything about the case. I looked at the case afterwards and go, so what is that? But at this point, this pattern doesn't make any sense unless I go, what this pattern is her tell of something isn't quite true about what she's saying. She coughs and laughs when it's not quite true what she's saying. Okay, so I will continue with that idea and pass on to somebody else. Greg, what do you got on this one?
Yeah, interestingly enough, there's a whole lot of baseline deviation in this one. So that's the only commonality is the coughing laugh, because now she starts off, she doesn't say anything. When she's asked a question about a broken trust.
How has this trust been broken? What's been going on with that?
It has definitely been broken after this.
She's swaying really a lot more now. And if you pay attention, she's got a really animated head nod. No words, just a bigger animated head. That's out of baseline from everything we've seen to now. Why? Don't know, but it's a red flag for us. And she's outright smiling. I know, people are going to jump to Duper's delight. I never am a guy to say it's that. I'm not the guy. But that smile is awkward at best. And there's a whole hell of a lot of eye locking. We always say everybody's first body language class, Chase, you said somebody told you this in an interrogation course one time, that when they look away, they're lying. Well, no, people look away because they're thinking. Mm-hmm. Think about the last time you went to a nice restaurant. Think about what the table looked like. Your eyes just moved. They do. That's how we work. Our brains, and never mind the baseline of what it means, where we go in our head. I can tell you roughly where most of that goes. That's not important to this conversation, but we don't stare into eye lock when we're telling details about something. We move our eyes around. Think about a last song you heard on the radio, that kind of stuff. As you think about that, your eyes move around. When she is doing that, I would ask her a question that would force her into thinking so that I could get a good baseline for her. I would say, okay, you told me about how she's dressed. Now tell me about the day. Let's talk about the timeline, the day she disappeared. And while we're on that, December is not a vanish date.
When was the last time you saw her?
In December.
In December. Okay.
Anybody here who loses anybody, forget kidnapped, gone, you remember that date. It's an anniversary. It's burned into your skull. December. When was the last time you saw her? Oh, December. That just makes me want to go, hold on a minute. What kind of a parent thinks the last time I saw my child was 2 months ago? Not a date, not a time of day, any of that. When she's asked about what she would like to say to the person, that sway rate goes up.
Is there anything that you'd like to say to the person or people that have her that you think they should hear from you?
They should just bring her back.
She increases respiration. She mouth grooms. She short stroke nods her head, real short like that, like she's trying to convince you. That's a baseline deviation too, and there's a cluster there. So I want to know why. Because it's not really a person is likely the reason, but I don't know why. I just know that there's a change and a big change right there. Baseline deviations are how we know something's going on in somebody's head. And if you know the person, your pronoun's not going to be they, unless the person uses they themselves and you're using what they ask you to use. Vague dates, vague times. And when this woman's asking questions, it's like pulling teeth.
The mainstream media is not broken at all. It is functioning exactly as it was designed. It exists to manipulate you, to divide you, to feed you fear and outrage and distraction while pretending all of that is information. And most people are still swallowing it like it's gospel. I've spent years studying propaganda and psychological operations and human behavior, and I will tell you this plainly. The media is not here to tell you the truth. It's here to shape your truth without you even realizing it. Every network, every outlet, left or right or center, they are all playing the exact same game. Keep you emotionally hijacked, cognitively blind, and addicted to narratives engineered by people who have zero interest in informing you at all. So they manufacture a bunch of division. They amplify lies and they bury stories that threaten their control. This is not journalism. This is mass psychological warfare. This is why we use ground news. It is not just a news app. It is a tactical weapon for seeing through all this fog. Ground news pulls in all these stories from every source, whether it's liberal or conservative or state-run, corporate-owned, billionaire-owned, and they show you these biases and the ownership of who owns the outlet that wrote that article, the spin. And then finally, my favorite is what is being left out of that article. You know, I always talk about let's look for what's missing. They do that at ground news. So you're going to watch these narratives fracture in real time. You're going to be able to spot manipulation like it is lit up in neon. And once you see how disgustingly coordinated all this stuff is, you're not going to be able to unsee it. The behavior panel never really partners with very many brands. But ground news is way different. It puts the power back into people's hands instead of the news. So go to ground.news/TBP, scan the QR code, or hit the link in the description. We've got you 40% off of the same plan that we use. So don't keep trusting the people reading scripts for billionaires. Stop being programmed and start seeing the depth of what is actually going on.
She'll give her a very small answer. She's almost outright laughing now, not just cough laughing, Mark. Is that nervous? Is it something else? When she's asked, how do you feel?
Tell me a little bit more about like how you're feeling. I know all of this is scary and everything.
It is. I just want her back.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can think about. So just get her back.
The woman even gives her a solution for one of the ways you might feel, but she doesn't. She goes on about what the kid was like and that kind of stuff. This is a really weird response. Scott, what do you got?
All right. I think the reason she's doing the eye lock is to make sure that this reporter believes her. Keep an eye on her. Going back to lying and being deceptive, and what you guys were talking about. People think when you break eye contact, it means you're lying. Nope. What the studies have shown and found out are that when somebody's lying, most likely they're going to keep their eye on you to make sure you believe them, so they don't have to start adding things to it to make it sound more believable. So that's why I think she's got the eye lock on her like that. I know she's got her chin down a little bit, so there could be a myriad of reasons for that. But I think she's sort of protecting herself because she's starting to get in deep in this thing. She's been talking for a couple minutes now, and all that's coming out of her mouth is this. She's lying about all this. So I think she's starting to get up in her head and worry about it a little bit. Again, no, help me find my child. None of that in there. Doesn't even get close to it. Doesn't even get close to it, not even a little bit. She has a pleasant look on her face for most of the time in this one. And then one thing, I got a couple of pet peeves, as you guys know, when they come up, they bug me. Like when people say button for button or button. Oh. Another one of the things that my pet peeves of the 1,400 that I have.
Isn't that whole states in the US?
No, it's whole generations. People that are under 40 all do it that way, Scott. Got bad news for you.
I don't know, man. That just irks me to no end. And now I've started saying, don't say that. Chase, you don't say that. Does he say that?
He's not under 40.
I'm getting off of here if he says that.
No, he's not under 40.
Okay, I thought you were saying
generational. I'm telling you, I work with people all the time, younger than 40.
And you let them see, you don't correct them. They say button or button. Oh,
it's a normal speech pattern.
Don't normalize that.
If you all think that Scott's a boomer and that's the reason that he's so, just put it down below. I can see it in capital letter. Boomer.
They're going to write button. What's wrong with saying button? Oh. Anyway, that's one of my pet peeves. And another one is when people say stuff like that.
I don't really know. They've all been looking at leads and stuff like that.
She's wanting her to fill in the stuff like that on this one. So she, what she would imagine to be there, she wants her to imagine that. It's a great little way to manipulate someone and get in their head. As you tell them, in other words, you imagine what's happening. That's what's happening. What you imagine, stuff like that. That's what's going on there. She may not be realizing to a T specifically what she's doing there, but that's how what I'll call a little manipulative will do it. They'll start saying things like that in situations similar to this, not as grave as this situation, but other situations where they want something done or they're not being honest and all that. So that bugs me there. Chase, what do you got?
When the reporter asks, has that trust been broken?
Has this trust been broken?
Her response is, it has definitely been broken after this.
It has definitely been broken after this.
That's the response. Wow. There's no emotion, no reaction. There's no mention of what happened. Everyone hearing this question from the reporter who has a real missing child would think that is the stupidest question ever asked by anyone. She doesn't think so. She doesn't think that's a stupid question. That's a big tell for me. Instead of describing the last day with her daughter, she describes her outfit.
It was a good day. She had a little pink bow in her hair and a little Puma tracksuit on. It was hot pink.
And when the reporter asked when the people took her, her response is, whenever this whole thing started.
Around when was that?
Whenever this whole thing started.
She's getting asked, when did your daughter go missing? And she says, whenever this whole thing started. So the reporter asks if the community can do anything to help, and she says no.
Is there anything the community can do to help you?
No.
So this is a horrific demonstration of information, emotion, and concern all being in the wrong place or the wrong time. And innocent people all act very similarly because it's an ancestral wiring that's responding to all of the situation. We're going to see such similar behavior in innocent people with real missing children because we have a hardwired DNA response to the loss of a child. Innocent people don't need to know where to place their concern or the information or their emotion. Innocent looks the same because it's innate. And guilty people have several differences because they're managing all of these consciously or at least trying to. That's all I got.
Oh, man. That's why it's going to be dramatic. The lean in.
It was so good, I don't need to do it anymore.
I think you might be. Maybe you should shut all that down now that you've won so hard on that one.
Greg, this interview was done how long after the child actually was
2
killed?
months. 2 months. 2 months. So all I know is the kid went missing in December.
Right.
And this is February 21st.
But she's saying in this that the kid has been missing a couple of days, or she's saying, oh, the kid's been missing
December.
2 months.
She didn't say which date. She says December. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she's basically going, yeah, kid's been missing a couple of months. I think I know who's got I think I know.
Well, and if you,
I think I know who's done it.
There's another video where she claims her mother has the kid in a silver RV hauling her out somewhere.
Yeah. Well, the moment you put in that 2 month, that piece of information that obviously isn't in the video, the moment you put in that, you go, well, this is just odd from moment.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 months. 2 months.
I agree.
Yeah.
And the thing about the time on this, she doesn't know what date or whatever. I remember when Dr. Overholt told me I had cancer. It was 11:15 in the morning, December 16th. I remember all of it, man.
Right.
If I had a person in my family missing, I would remember the date. The day, at least, when they left.
Even if you didn't know the first time you were asked and you were like, it was either Thursday or Friday, you'd go back and look at your calendar because you know you're going to be asked it again.
Yep.
So I better get this, you're going to be asked it again. You go and find out.
But Mark, you would imagine today, your kid disappears.
Right.
Your whole life revolves around that day is what happens because now everything changes, even if it's just your patterns. You're going to be like, okay, that was a Thursday because it was boom, boom, boom. And you're not going to forget that kind of stuff. I mean, unfortunately, human brains love anniversaries and dates. Even the horrible anniversaries and dates, they stick in your head. That's just human nature.
Mm-hmm.
Chase, you just look like William Shatner for the last 2 minutes when he was doing his solo album. There's a shot on the inside. He's got his hand up on his leg. There it is. Yeah, sing something.
Chase, when are you recording your version of MacArthur Park? When's that coming out?
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, so William Shatner did I think it's quite good, a particularly great version of MacArthur Park. Someone left my cake out in the rain. Great lyrics.
And he just talks it.
Just talks it. Yeah, it's well worth going and taking a look at.
Did Richard Harris do it too?
Yeah, I think Richard Harris did do it. Yeah.
You know who else did it?
Who?
Spock.
Oh,
did it as well.
He did an album too.
Everybody's.
I was talking about MacArthur Park, though, specifically. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway,
yeah.
It's one you should record, Chase.
Yeah, once these actors get some heat on them, they think they're singers, Oh, man. We got a couple of stories for you I can't tell you here.
What is it like to, I'm assuming that you trusted this person. How has this trust been broken? What's been going on with that?
It has definitely been broken after this.
Have you spoken to her father at all during this process? Are you having any support from him or from your family?
Yeah, my grandma's very supportive. She always is.
That's good. But you haven't spoken to him at all?
Mm-mm.
When was the last time you saw her?
In December.
In December? Okay. And what was that last day like? Was it a good day? I think it was about around Christmas, right? Can you tell me about that?
It was a good day. She had a little pink bow in her hair and a little Puma tracksuit on. It was hot pink.
And what, like, I know that you're hoping that she'll be returned shortly. Is there anything that you'd like to say to the person or people that have her that you think they should hear from you?
They should just bring her back. They obviously know, like, what's going on, and, like, you know, they need to bring her back home.
Mm-hmm. And you said that you trusted this person. So when did you realize that trust might have been broken?
Well, when they just kind of took off and wouldn't answer anybody.
Around when was that?
Whenever this whole thing started.
Okay, all right. And can you tell me a little bit more about, like, how you're feeling? I know all of this is scary and everything.
It is. I just want her back.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can think about. Is just getting her back.
Is there anything the community can do to help you?
No. Other than look for her. I know they released the car information and the tag number and stuff like that. Just any leads at all, they need to, like, call us so we can go check them out. Try to find her.
Has anyone, like, have you gotten any information from the community that's been helpful, or you just kind of been this?
I don't really know. They've all been looking at leads and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're working their butts off.
So let's get into the last time you saw her. Tell me what that time was like and when that was.
Well, actually, I want to talk about that. I've told TBI where to find her in Mendota. My mom took her to a campground and a silver camper, and if they don't go tonight, I'm going to go find her myself. Because I've told them, and they're not really, like, taking it seriously, and if they don't go tonight, like, I will go myself and go get her.
Tell them lies. They're not.
Don't get into that. Stop. Stop.
No, you need to defend yourself.
That's all they need to know. Quit.
They already know, Megan.
So let's kind of go back into.
Sorry.
Okay.
Can you edit that?
We will.
Okay.
We'll take care of it.
So tell me about the last time though that you saw Evelyn. Tell me what you guys did and when that was.
We went to go out to eat, and then my mom came and got her. She was wearing a little hot pink tracksuit with the matching bow, little matching shoes.
And was this December 20, like right after Christmas?
A little bit before Christmas.
So this was before Christmas. Okay. So tell me what you know about her situation. Obviously, you just revealed that you know she's where your mom took her. So tell me what all you know about that situation.
That's really all I know. My mom, like, you can ask her, is a very vindictive, manipulating person, and she basically, like, threatened me the whole time that she was gone. Like,
Chase, what do you got?
So when you're describing where your baby was dropped off, how many parents would tell you where their baby is by describing the color of the camper or the house? None. Zero. They'd be saying details of the people who had the child, not the color of the house. She has no emotion here. It's about her missing child, and she's waiting on the police to go get her like they're an Uber service. Just from this one little piece, there are indicators she knows there is no child to pick up at all at that place. Her emotions are socially driven here, and she's smiling about the curse word on camera and asking them to edit that out with a big smile. It's socially driven behavior. Her motivations are social and not towards the child. So just seeing this, there's either no problem with her baby whatsoever, or she knows the baby is not there at all. One of those two things. So she's describing the outfit because she has no idea what to say.
she was wearing a little hot pink tracksuit with the matching bow, little matching shoes.
It's completely fabricated. When someone's child goes missing, they describe the outfit unless they know where the baby is. They describe the location and the people. She's mirroring what she's seen from other missing child parents on television. So she's trying to assert her child has been taken, but deciding to defame her mother instead.
My mom, like, you can ask her, is a very vindictive, manipulating person, and she basically, like, threatened me the whole time.
Which is the fifth huge red flag here in this one clip. And when there's a perpetrator, a person concentrates on the perpetrator. So a person concentrates on them alone. And if the focus is not on the victim or the perpetrator, there's very unusual amounts of attention paid to other details that do not matter here, which is a giant problem. The details she's giving us are not the right details. They're not about the thing that's important. Greg, what do you got?
Yeah, this one's got so much in it. Remember, this is her second, I believe, TV interview. The first one was the yellow shirt. Then this one, by now she has her story, whatever her story is going to be. The creepy part of this and the setup is that's her best friend's mother that is talking to her, and she is near her best friend's grave where she had the opportunity to do this interview. Of all places I might not do it's that, but I have a feeling this woman may have a couple of interesting things. I'm no psychologist, I always say. What I've found is that people who have borderline personality often are really good at plugging into what you need. And that doesn't mean that every person who has borderline personality manipulates people, but when that dark side of a person is combined with that, they're usually really good at manipulation. And that plugging in, I've seen more than one time, and I can see it here. So that part's really interesting. Jodi Arias was a good example of that. Whatever you need for her to say, she would say, and it didn't matter if she just said something else differently just a few minutes before. So we'll see that. When they ask her a question about when was the last time you saw a child, well, actually, I want to answer that.
Well, actually, I want to talk about that.
Well, clearly you don't. You want to talk about something else because she chaffs and redirects immediately to what she told the police.
I've told TBI where to find her in Mendota. My mom took her to a campground and a silver camper, and if they don't go tonight, I'm going to go find her myself.
Has nothing to do with the last time she saw her child. When I say chaff and redirect, I mean like an aircraft spraying garbage out the back end, flares and all kinds of things that draw missiles and cause those missiles to direct off in another location. That's what we're seeing here with her saying that about talking to her mother. So there's chaff and redirect. Listen to that up lilt as she's talking and she's saying, I told the police.
I've told TBI.
We don't hear that any other time. She's fishing. Her forehead is up in what I call request for approval. You see that forehead up when she's saying, I told the police. If you have a little kid and a little kid is trying to tell you a story, you'll see them with their brow up waiting to see. Doesn't mean they're always lying. They're waiting for approval. She shouldn't be waiting for approval at this time. She should be just telling. Really interesting. And then she says,
if they don't go tonight, I'm going to go find her myself.
Okay, so after 2 months, you're going to be urgent. Come on. This is really, really, really stupid. She's working that mother, the friend, pretty hard. And you can see for the first time, guys, you always know I say I don't see micro expressions because my eyes just don't work that way. Something changes in her brow right there and gets really tight and a wrinkling of the eyes as she goes.
We went to go out to eat, and then my mom came and got her.
That's really interesting. And then, Chase, I'm with you. She has all the passion of a catalog as she describes this kid. You know, I have cars, old cars, and I've got an Impala catalog, and you flip through there and it says, these are rich leather-toned seat covers. That's about like saying bright pink jumpsuit. And it's about that much passion. Just an awful, awful, awful job all the way around. Mark, what do you got?
Yeah, so look, Greg has given you a litany of indicators there of stress and some other issues as well. Of course, we all know there are no single indicators that can tell you that anybody is lying, is being deceptive. There are indicators of all kinds of things, including stress, of which being deceptive, creating a story, especially when a crime's committed, is incredibly stressful for a human being to do. There are some human beings out there that are going to experience less stress in that situation, but still it's pretty stressful for them just on a cognitive level, just on like making stuff up. If anybody has ever said to you, hey, make up a story that's never happened, suddenly you're going, oh, well, what kind of story do you want? I mean, what are you looking for? You're suddenly worried about the quality of your story, even when you're not, trying to get out of a crime. So it's stressful. And so we're looking often for those stress indicators and other things, and putting them together in groups, in clusters, as we call them. Greg, I've got many of the same that you have there. She frames her answer. Well, actually, there's lots of uptalk.
I've told TBI.
She hits a level that I don't see in the baseline of her elsewhere. So there seems to be a lot of peak uptalk there. Obviously, uptalk is a cultural thing. Some places in America, some ages of certain people in America will uptalk more than others. It's one way of showing that you're part of the group to uptalk. In fact, I would say it's a way of sharing power to do uptalk, so you're never oppressing anybody with your view. You're always asking for approval on your view. It's a great way to make sure you don't step on anybody's toes, and you can share power. And therefore, teenagers will often use uptalk in current America in order to share power a little bit. Anyway, what else do I see? I see the eyes in shade, so the eyes going down, but also threat checking as well to work out, are you getting this? Are you buying this? Is this good for you? Got one half of the face more in shade than the other with the hair down. Now, I do see her with that hairstyle in the first video, but we can see more into her face there. But still, it's a great vehicle. Again, you'll often see some, but not all, teenagers going through puberty will start to cover their face just that little bit more. Again, because there's more social risk for them in every communication that they make. So we could say the shading of the face, the half of the face not so disclosed, is that her dealing with the social risk? We've got the eyebrow raises, as you were saying, Greg. Again, trying to check, are you buying this? So again, assessing the social risk of that, approval, chin tucked in and down. And then all the time as well, a general pleasantness about her, really, really kind of pleasant smile and pleasant air around her. So either that's because she just isn't bothered about this crime, that's a possibility, or she's wanting to portray everything as actually being okay because she doesn't want to create any more drama than there already is around all of this. And of course, there's a drama because there's a missing child. And quite rightly so, when a child goes missing, hopefully, you would hope, and it does, the community go, well, this is important because this child has no agency for themselves. They can't survive on their own. So we're going to come in and we're going to deal with this thing. And so there's a big piece of theatre going on around this. Scott, what do you got on this one?
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't like it when somebody does something to a little kid. That's one of my. I don't like that at all. So I'll be a little negative on her. And as everybody else, nobody's been positive, but if I'll try to keep it in check. But she's not stressed here. She's not stressed at all. She's following her protocol when she's lying so much in this. She does that little smile. She's too relaxed. If she knew where that child was, she would have been there already. And it wouldn't have been the next day. And it wouldn't have been that evening. It would have been that afternoon. If it had happened in the early afternoon, she'd have said, wait, where is he? She would have gone there. There'd be no two ways about it. Nobody goes missing for that long without somebody within 5 hours going, let me just check on her. Let me see what's going on. Just touching base, man. Nothing like that. No concern. There's nothing in there that shows concern. We don't say anything other than that little smile she's got. And I'm about to lean into it and think a lot of that's a Duper's delight because it shows up at the times when I think she thinks she's getting away with it. And it's, I can't say for sure because it's really big, but that's the road it seems to be going down to me. Her blink rate's really low. Do you know why her blink rates are? You guys know. It's because she keeps looking at the woman she's talking to make sure that woman believes this horse story she's telling. And she wants to make sure, her brain wants to make sure that's what's happening. So that's why her eyes are kind of open and she keeps looking at her and not blinking a lot. As well, her eyes are dilated. Look at how dilated her eyes are because her brain, again, is trying to take in all the information it possibly can about this threat that this woman is to her. So, overall, this looks like the things we've seen before when we've done shows about people, chin going down to protect the throat and the neck because she feels threatened because she's not sure. Like you were saying, Mark, she's just starting to go with it at this point. She's throwing stuff out there. We're going to see her continue to do that and just create these little stories out of nowhere as she tells the truth and doesn't lie, which that'll mean something to you in a minute. So, okay, I'm going to get worked up, so I'll be done.
There's two kinds of Duper's delight, in my opinion. I have my own theory.
Okay.
One of them is a satisfaction from getting away with deception. Mm-hmm. The other is a person who has spent their entire life organism being successful because they were social. They were able to gain rapport very quickly, and the fear of lying makes them default to that approval-seeking behavior. So I do think if that's on that spectrum of the Duper's delight, that there's not delight there, but we're seeing the smile.
And Chase, I think that fits back into the whole thing I was saying, like borderline personality. People will jump on me and say, I have it and I'm not that person. No, a lot of people, what you are born with is not who you are. It's what you're given. What you do with it is a different story. But people have a natural tendency to think the world of the person they meet and just glom onto them and plug into all their receptors. And I agree with you. If she thinks she's not going to be received, that's a great call. It's a great call.
Yeah. And anybody that's got a rough life and like you're like, well, I haven't made it, or that's why I haven't made it, go read Oprah's biography story. Insane. And she did well. She played her card. She played the hand she was dealt in a good way.
It's not what you get, right?
Hey, well, let me ask you something, Chase. Did you ever see Three Stooges?
Yeah.
Did you see the one where Shep, he gets drunk and just gets all just like old school hammered, like William Holden style hammered? Do you ever see that one?
No.
Okay, well, anyway, he takes a bottle and he turns it up and starts drinking it. What are you drinking? What is that in that bottle you've got?
Is that why you were laughing? It's water.
Yes.
It's a water bottle.
What do you think it is? Yeah.
What water is that?
It's called Holstein from Germany.
Where the hell do you get German water?
water.
Germany, but I mean,
Austria. Sorry, Austria.
I thought you were cranking one out, man. I couldn't tell what was going on. I was like, yeah, there it is.
Just a
I'll tell you what I think about this. This girl,
I call it a fifth of water. I'm just drinking.
Can you taste the meadows? Can you taste the flowers? The Austrian.
Don't put this in the video, but
no, it's going in. If it's in the thing here, it's going
then
in.
I'm not gonna talk about it then.
Oh, come on, dude. What are you afraid of? Bunch of panelists? They're not gonna hurt you.
Now
We're all
somebody
on the same team.
somebody sent me 100 of these. Or more.
Nice.
As like a gift, maybe trying to get me hooked on it or something, but it's untouched by any piece of plastic, any filter or anything. It comes from underground in Austria, and it has the lowest of something called deuterium, which is
Isn't that cow pee?
It's a heavy hydrogen molecule. We can go deep into this if you want to, but it lowers the function of your mitochondria. So it's supposed to help. Maybe it does. I don't know.
No, go ahead.
I'm on good old Georgia well water. I'm sure it does help my mitochondria.
Dude, well
Polar
water's
Springs.
one of the best in the world.
Mark,
mine's
would you
good.
like some?
Mine's-
Mark, would you like some Polar Springs?
Toronto tap water. Some of the best tap water in the world.
Is that, do you have to add to that, or is that?
Yeah. No, it comes already well ginned.
So let's get into the last time you saw her. Tell me what that time was like and when that was.
Well, actually, I want to talk about that. I've told TBI where to find her in Mendota. My mom took her to a campground and a silver camper, and if they don't go tonight, I'm going to go find her myself. Because I've told them, and they're not really, taking it seriously, and if they don't go tonight, I will go myself and go get her.
Tell them lies. They're not.
Don't get into that. Stop.
Taking that
Stop.
heavy.
Stop.
No, you need to defend yourself.
That's all they need to know. Quit.
They already know, Megan.
So let's kind of go back into.
Sorry.
Go-
Sorry.
Can you edit that?
We will, honey.
Okay.
We'll take care of it.
So tell me about the last time though that you saw Evelyn. Tell me what you guys did and when that was.
We went to go out to eat, and then my mom came and got her. She was wearing a little hot pink tracksuit with the matching bow, little matching shoes.
And was this December 20, right after Christmas?
A little bit before Christmas.
So this was before Christmas. Okay. So tell me what you know about her situation. Obviously, you just revealed that you know she's where your mom took her. So tell me what all you know about that situation.
That's really all I know. My mom, you can ask her, is a very vindictive, manipulating person, and she basically threatened me the whole time that she was gone.
Right here, right now, we've got internet, cell phones, everything. We can give you access to things. You had access to a phone at some point this morning. Out of everything in the world you could have been doing, why did you only call your mom? We need to know that.
I think she had nothing.
You think she has Evelyn? You think she has Evelyn, or you know?
I don't know she does because she wouldn't tell me.
Well, okay. What makes you think she has Evelyn?
Just because the way she's been acting and stuff like that.
So you think she's okay? You think Evelyn's okay?
I hope she is.
That's not right.
I don't think Mom would do anything to hurt her. I think she's okay, yes, but I just don't know where she's at. But every time I would try to ask Mom anything about it, she'd just beat around the bush and be like, well, you don't need to talk to him.
All right, Chase, what do you got?
This has so much in here. The way that these police officers are perceiving her statements and how she's shifting around, and when she finally shifts to the mom, both of them, almost like without looking at each other, both of them have this realization that this is it. This is our prime suspect, and they're both, you could see what kind of good-hearted people these are, because now they're both, you can hear the emotion in their voice when they're starting to ask about this baby.
You think she's okay? You think Evelyn's okay?
And man, I'm getting angry and sad at the same time talking about this, but she says, I don't know where she is because she won't tell me.
I don't know she does because she wouldn't tell me.
Instead of giving a yes or no, Meghan just dances around this question, saying because she won't tell me. This is odd. If she really thought her mom had Evelyn, she would need confirmation from her mom. She would have gotten it. And when she says, just because of the way she's been acting and stuff like that.
What makes you think she has Evelyn?
Just because the way she's been acting and stuff like that.
This is classic bluffing. It is classic amateur bluffing. When people genuinely believe something, they give specific reasons. Meghan it can't offer anything solid, just these vague claims about her mom's behavior. This is a giant red flag. Then she says,
I hope she is.
That's not right.
I don't think Mom would do anything to hurt her. I think she's okay, yes, but I just don't know where she's at.
she completely contradicts herself in a single breath, in one breath. And this kind of back and forth means that she has not thought her story through. And this is something that liars struggle with, especially when there's two police officers that she's picking up on it, not consciously, but she's been subconsciously programmed to read the room since she was a child, most likely. That's where she gets these adaptive behaviors. And she sensed that shift that took place. She sensed that emotional shift. And you can hear the emotion in the police officer's voice here. She paints her mom as the evasive one, but she's doing the exact same thing.
But every time I was trying to ask Mom anything about it, she'd just beat around the bush and be like, well, you don't need to talk to him.
So instead of providing answers, she's trying to make her mother the focus. And this is classic misdirection. Meghan's responses show evasion and inconsistency and zero urgency. If someone's child is missing, look for urgency. Number one, that's the first thing. Look for urgency. All signs of deception are here. She's not acting like a panicked mom looking for a kid. She's acting like someone trying to shift blame. And that's exactly what we're seeing in the video. Greg, we'll go to you.
Yeah, a handful of things. I agree. No terror, no uncertainty, no rage, no fear. None of that. None of that. It's all, and let me back up a second. Dina watched this show with me last week, the one we did, and she said, I don't see you that passionate very often. I said, yeah, I hate this. Anybody's hurting a baby? Come on. And who's not willing to help protect? It's very clear just in the first video we watched. So she gets herself in a bind because of Liar's Loop, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But if you want to know she knows how to read the room, the moment that cop gets it, and I'm with you, they ask a question, is she okay?
You think she's okay? You think Evelyn's okay?
I hope she is.
And she slow pedals that, and then she hears exasperation in their voice, and she quickly changes cadence.
That's not right.
I don't think Mom would do anything to hurt her. I think she's okay, yes.
Tries to spackle over that problem and says, and she wouldn't tell me, and she starts song and dancing. And the reason all that's happening, Scott, you brought it up earlier, this True Crime Workshop, the only reason I put the sign up is because this is a great example of Liar's Loop. We say that a person needs a trigger event. That trigger event causes a person to need to lie. That can happen 100 years ago, can happen yesterday, it can happen right now when I'm standing here talking to you. And if I have to then make up details, that's called fabricating. So there's a trigger event followed by fabrication. When I fabricate something, I also have to figure out, does that fit into my life? And how are you going to perceive it? So inside my head, I'm going, okay, I'm going to tell everybody I was Miss America. Well, hold on. How am I going to accommodate for the fact I'm neither female nor attractive? And then I have to figure out a way to do that. So now I'm going to deconflict that. Then I'm going to get to the point where I have to pitch my lie and I'm going to have to defend that lie. And what happens is I may have to deconflict in the process, and it'll put me in a loop where I'm having to deconflict, pitch, deconflict, pitch, deconflict, pitch, defend, and it puts you in a bind. So you can learn more about that if you're interested on that page. But the most important part to remember is we all go through a process in our head. And she has not done it because she's gotten away with something for so long that she has just thought, I can swing for the fences and get away with it. And she does. This is the pitch. When she does that, I hope then these guys are on her, and that's it. I think that's the turn point. You can hear it in their exasperation in the voice. And she tries to plug back into their receptors. Like I was saying before, this plug and receptor is what some of these people do really well. Too late, too late, too late. She's not going to get a chance now. And then she tries to beat around the bush, or she tries to say, every time I talk to my mother about where my daughter was, she beat around the bush. Chase, if I call you and say, hey man, did you find any loose change in your sofa after I sat down there, and you beat around the bush about that? You're missing child. A missing child. You know how you deal with that? Hold on. Hey, police, come over here. My mom, I think, has my kid and she won't tell me. That's how you deal with that. You don't go, okay, a couple of months later, I'm going to call the police. No, my dad even calls the police. This pitch is so poorly thought out. She should have learned from something we've done a long time ago. That's been a few years. But she should be thinking out the details. But because she's been rewarded, we're back to the organism does what made the organism successful, and she's just swinging for the fence. Scott, what do you got?
All right. Well, that first question and her answer, they know, like y'all talked about. I'll try not to cover the same things you did. They know they've got her. They understand what's happening here. They look at each other, and they both kind of back up, and then they turn it up and start coming on a little bit stronger to her. Because at this point, they know they've gotten all they're beating a dead horse just about at this point. So the detective has his hand on his knee like that and got that elbow out. He's all in, ready to go. And that's letting her know that he knows that she's full of shit at this point. So, and she doesn't have a specific reason that she thinks her mom has the baby, but then she says,
just because the way she's been acting and stuff like that.
Stuff like that. One of my pet peeves is stuff like that. And to go back to what we talked about the last episode, button and button. Button and button and button. She's goofing around with her sleeve. She's adapting, trying to get rid of some of that built-up stress and tension, and her chin goes down to protect her throat. Now, let's talk about that detective on the phone for a second. We've seen an interrogation before where both detectives are on their phone, man. They're just talking, looking up, talking. That's not what's going on here. This guy's getting information from somebody else and looking at what's coming in, because somebody's watching this on a monitor, and they're going, you need to tell them this, ask this, because you'll go in and you'll watch interrogations happening, and you'll give suggestions for stuff like that. If you may be in a state, if you're an interrogator, but you can't interrogate in that state, you may be called in to consult. And then you can say what you think is happening. You got to go for this, man. Ask him this. Here's what you missed. So that's probably what's happening there. Or he's got a question. Find out about this. Do we know about this yet? Because because he wants to ask her. So there's somebody sitting there on the other side of that wall or down the hall, in another room, watching the monitor, and they're talking. Because it's not just these two guys in there, people out walking around. Yeah, I think I know what's going on in there. They know exactly what's going on there. And that part where he said there are so many people, working on this. There are a lot of people working on it. Not like the way he makes it sound, I wouldn't think, but there are a whole lot of people working on it. And there's a specific group of people in there watching this happen and talking about it as they strategize how to get her to tell him where that child is. So, Mark, what do you got?
Look, I agree. This is the biggest change I think we see across everybody. It's quite subtle, but in its subtlety, it's pretty big. I think you're right. We do certainly hear from the interviewers this sense of everything now being more imperative. There's more energy in the room. There's the edge of frustration is up further. I don't think it's now frustration. It's just that thing of the dog seeing the rabbit at this point and going, I think, there is something in there. There's a target now in their eye line. It's wonderful. She accuses everybody else of beating around the bush.
She just beat around the bush. We're like, we don't need to talk to him.
Which is ironic, because essentially that's what she's been doing. She's been shifting, everybody around to everything else but the target. And I think now these interrogators are really now running the show because they've moved her from think to know to hope.
I think she has Evelyn. I don't know she does because she wouldn't tell me. I hope she does.
We haven't heard her talking about hope at any point. And just as you were saying, Greg, there's that massive upward intonation on that. She's not comfortable with the idea of hope that any parent, I think, who was truly looking for their child would be hanging on to hope with both hands and their teeth and their toes at the same time. She's uncomfortable being shifted into this idea of hope. She was happy in, well, I think I know where they might be. I mean, maybe I've got an idea of it. You know, she says, I might know. Now she's, well, I hope. Well, I mean, now they've really put her into a position that she is not comfortable in anymore. And that's looking really good.
Right here, right now, we've got internet, cell phones, everything. We can give you access to things you had access to a phone at some point this morning. Out of everything in the world you could have been doing, why did you only call your mom? We need to know that.
I think she has Evelyn.
You think she has Evelyn? You think she has Evelyn, or you know?
I don't know she does because she wouldn't tell me.
Well, okay. What makes you think she has Evelyn?
Just because the way she's been acting and stuff like that.
So you think she's okay? You think Evelyn's okay?
I hope she is.
That's not right.
I don't think Mom would do anything to hurt her. I think she's okay, yes, but I just don't know where she's at. But every time I was trying to ask Mom anything about it, she'd just beat around the bush and be like, well, you don't need to talk to him.
All right, fellas, I think this is another good one, and we'll see you next time.